Hello there everyone, my name is Nathan Birch. Today we're going to be doing our Lesson 3 Hands-on Exercise 2. We're going to learn how to output data to the web page. So we're going to create an HTML and JavaScript file, provide a button for the user to click, call a function in our JavaScript file when it is clicked, and then we're going to get the time of day, make it look nice, and then display it back on the page. Usually, at least up until now, we've been using alert boxes to display our data. We'll start there today, and then we'll go ahead and display this information on the page. So let me go down to here, and I'll make a new file. Inside of week 3, I'll say hands-on2.js, and I'll make another one called hands-on2.html. All right, .html, exclamation mark, and I'll say lesson 3. Hands-on 2, and I'm going to put a couple of things in here. I'll say H1, what time is it? And then we'll have a button. It'll say get time, and let's go ahead and open this up with our live server. All right, what time is it? Get time. That's not going to do anything yet. Let's go ahead and connect our JavaScript file. So script and source is equal to hands-on2.js, and then in here we'll call a function called get time, or better yet, on click we'll say display time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and I'm going to put it into here. So we have function. All right, and right now I'm just going to say alert. It is currently 3:11 p.m. All right, so I'm going to hit get time, and look at that, 3:11 p.m. And that's perfect for a couple more seconds. But a couple of things that I don't like here. One, I never like being on websites where they give me pop-ups. So after today, I'm never going to have you write another alert box again. And the other one is, if I hit this button now and I say get time and it says 3:11, well, now it's actually 3:12. So this is wrong. So two things that we have to change. One, we need to get the actual time of day. And two, we want to display this back in the page. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to our HTML, and I'm going to put a div down here. This could be anything. I could make this a paragraph. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to make this a paragraph, but I am going to give it an ID of time. All right, this ID could be anything, but this is going to be kind of like a variable. It's what I'm going to use my JavaScript to say, hey, here's where I want to put my time. All right, so I'm going to save that, and that's all we're going to have to do with our HTML. We're done there. But watch this. First thing we have to do is say let, and I'll say current date equals new date. Okay, that'll get the current date from my clock. All right. Now I want to get our current time. So I'm going to say let current time equals, and I'll say current date dot, and look at all these things available to me because it's a date object. And I'm going to say get time somewhere in here. Yep, there it is. Get time. Okay. Now I should have my time there. All right, let's go ahead and alert that. We'll go ahead and just double check that things are working up to this point. I'm going to hit the button, and there's my time. That is not cool. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and work with that in a sec. But instead of having this alert, I'm going to say document. All right. Anytime I want to work with the DOM, we're going to start with our document object dot. And then I want to isolate that paragraph that I just made in my HTML. So I'm going to say get element by ID, and we named it time. Okay. And if I want to add something to it, then I'm going to say dot inner HTML equals current time. And I can put anything there that I want to, but it will put this variable into the inner HTML of this ID, which will throw it into that paragraph. So I can hit save, and I'll hit our button over here, and look at that. Now it's on the page. I don't have a pop-up anymore. Okay, but looking at this, I don't really get what this time means. Okay, So let's look at a couple things. First, we might not want this. We might, but I'm going to hit our dot, and let's see what we get here. What's here? So we have get minutes, get hours. Okay, so a couple of these might work pretty well. But what I'm thinking of, let's first go to W3 Schools, and I'm just going to say JavaScript date get hours. W3 Schools is right there. And so look at this. They have a new date just like we did. And then they have get hours, which will show I'm currently at 15, which is right, okay, because I'm 15 hours into my day. It's 3 o'clock. But then if you look down here, it says it'll give us a number from 0 to 23. But it'll just be a number, okay? So let me close this, and I'm going to say current time equals current date dot get hours, and then I'll say plus, and we're just going to do some string concatenation here, colon, and then current date dot get minutes. Okay, so we should have a number for our hours, colon, and then a number for our minutes. So I'm going to hit save, and I'll hit our button, and look at that, 15, 16. That's a little bit better. Okay, I could add some logic in here if I wanted to. A lot of people like military time. If you're not a big fan of the military time, we would just have to add a simple if statement. Okay, and so I would say if, and you know what, I would have to use this again, so, well, I'll just leave it for now. Paste it there. So if that is greater than 12, then we're going to say, so let me actually make, so I'll say let hours, oops, equals current date dot get hours, whoops, paste that there. And then I'm going to comment that out for a second. We don't want to use that yet. So if it's greater than 12, so I can use this variable now. So if hours is greater than 12, then we're going to say hours minus equals 12. Okay, so that's saying hours equals hours minus 12. So we'll go ahead and just take that 12 off. And then we'll say let current time, whoops, equals hours plus colon plus current date dot get minutes. Okay, that should work. I'm just going to delete that now. Save it. And get that, and there we go. 317, 317 matches my clock. We could also say, let's see here. So if that is true, then I'm going to make another variable called let am bool. So we're going to make an am Boolean value, so which is just a true or false value. So I'm going to say am bool. Actually, I'll just say am equals. We'll say true for now. Okay, but if hours are greater than 12, then it's not am. So we'll say am equals false. Okay. And then right here, where we add this onto here, I could add another simple if statement right here that says if am, then we'll say current time plus equals am, else current time plus equals PM. Okay, so let's look what's happening right here. We have hours is greater than 12. So if it's past noon, then we'll say, okay, it's not AM, and we'll go ahead and take the 12 off. And then after we make our current time, we have our nice time, currently it's 3:17, we'll say, okay, if AM is equal to true, which it's currently not, then we'll add AM onto the end of our string. And if it's not, then we'll add PM onto the end of our string. Okay, and then we'll display that here. Let's see what happens. Look at that. If we want to add a little space, we totally can. I'll just add a space on both of those. Okay, and we'll say get time, and it looks pretty good. Okay, so I hope that this helps. If you have any questions, just let me know.